one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Hey, and we've got an intro song by Reverend Kit this morning.
Good morning. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom, one with all around me, down below and up above. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom. I am one with the presence of universal love. I create with the power, create with the wisdom, create with all around me, down below and up above. I create with the power, create with the wisdom. I create with the presence of universal love. I am grateful for the power, grateful for the wisdom, grateful all around me, down below and up above. I am grateful for the power, grateful for the wisdom. I am grateful for the presence of universal love. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom, one with all around me, down below and up above. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom. I am one with the presence of universal love. I am one with the presence of universal love.
All right, thanks. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown, Atlanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. And you are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcomed and celebrated. We know who you are. You're an individualized expression of the divine life in which we all live. Your life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. And whatever your background, your religious affiliation, however you came to get here today, know that you are welcome and welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. Here's our vision statement. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and the practice that we create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And for a better understanding of who we are and what we teach, listen now to our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey,
So a practitioner is someone who's demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws and to bring about great changes in their lives. They've also demonstrated they know how to bring about changes in others when asked. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to you to help with spiritual guidance and anything you've got going on in your life where you might want some additional help. You can contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. And today we've got one of our amazing practitioners to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome for the practitioner this morning, Norma Roberts, Practitioner Emeritus. Thanks, Norma.
Thank you, Vance, for everything you do. And a good morning, CSL. I sincerely thank you for being here today. You know, our topic this month, topic title this month, is a world that values all of who we are. This seems like a very worthwhile view since it appears that today we are living in a world filled with division and strife. Yet, as metaphysicians, we know that we have the tools to work towards a more inclusive, just, and equitable world where everyone belongs. Often we relate to others based on societal labels and stereotypes, and we assign people relative worth based on those assumptions, which makes it difficult to have deep relations. But you can surprise yourself by the person in front of you. Rather than constantly comparing them to ideas of what their race, ethnicity, gender, class, ability, or other constant stereotype is, cast be like, we can choose to know the truth of their being. In the book New Horizons, Ernest Holmes says, there is no principle known to science that is linked by any use that was ever made of it. The past does have a relationship to the present and in creation of the future. But if we break the sequence and initiate a new chain of causation, then the same power that brought bondage will bring freedom. The truth is, we live in an abundant world. There's enough for everyone. To bridge our differences and build relationships in spite of perceived differences requires sometimes cultivating accountability and learning the importance of making amends. The risks are great, but the rewards are greater if the end goal is truly to create a world that works for everyone and for all creation. And so now I invite you to join me in treatment. We're going to start by just taking a deep breath and relax. Close your eyes if you like and just accept for yourself any part of the treatment that relates to you, that really resonates with your being. I want you to know that as I speak in the first person, I speak as you. So we can know together. Let us know together. Spirit's perfection is. It is the isness of all that is. It is the intelligence that I am, operating in me, through me, as me, in all that concerns me, making me one with all people. I now speak my word from this intelligence, knowing that because I am God's means to express, there is no situation, condition, or experience that is greater than the mind that perceived it. I turn my focus away from the announcements of the world's economic conditions or any other division and strife. As I hear these reports, I know the truth. The truth is, God is all there is. And the possibility of healing all of these conditions is established. There is no lack, limitation, or loss in the mind of God. The law of mind is not governed by a president. Therefore, as I change my consciousness, I change the conditions in my life. Again, realizing that I am God's means to express, I recognize my thoughts and base it upon the recognition of the one power that is independent of any circumstance, condition, or situation. Therefore, possible for me to recreate my life, and I cannot be touched by the world's belief because I have filled my conscience with a sense of love, with the sense of love of God, until my whole being is flooded with this love. I now sense a healed society where no one is the bearer of unjust hardship or carry the weight of systematic failures. I therefore create for myself and all those around me perfect health, abundant wealth, expanded creative self-expression, and broader personal relations. I now give thanks that the life of God is my life, self-expressive and immortal, and all is well. I now release this word into a law, knowing that it cannot return to me void, but must accomplish that to which it is sent. It is done. It is perfect. It is complete. And all is well. As together we say, and so it is. And now we'll have music. Thank you.
Sometimes the world seems so black and white, wrong or right, so divided. You and I have learned and understand there's a different way. It only takes some willing exploration to see that in life there's just one equation, and it's love equals God equals you and me, and we are a part of it all. Love. A lot of people think they got a handle on their problems, try to face them alone. But you and I have learned it doesn't really work that way. What if it's part of our evolution to learn that there's just one solution. It's love equals God equals you and me, and we are a part of it all. Oh, love. We hold on to each other through the toughest parts, 'cause this love's so much greater than the sum of its hearts. It's love equals God equals you and me, and we are a part of it all. Love. We are a part of it all. We are a part of it all. We are a part of it all.
Thank you, Reverend Kit. Since her introduction to Science of My Teachings in 1999, guest speaker and musical artist Reverend Kit Holmes, who we've been hearing all morning, has immersed herself in studying and living the principles of spiritual consciousness and healing generational trauma. She possesses a masterful ability to hide spirit in plain sight in song lyrics that encompass the heartbreak and humor of being fully human and divine. And she does so without ever sounding churchy, as you've heard. Reverend Kit's been sharing her amazing musical ministry gifts through keynotes, concerts, classes, and retreats around the United States since 2004. She's an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister, a certified transformational life coach, and grateful, recovering perfectionist. After 21 years in the Austin, Texas music scene, followed by a few years of deep healing work in her native Michigan, Reverend Kit now makes her home in Santa Fe, New Mexico with her partner, Tricia. So welcome back, Reverend Kit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yay. Good to be with you all again. Thank you so much. I was just thinking as we were prior to the service, when I haven't been in a community for a little while, for a few months, it's like this beautiful coming home, like, oh, I get to see my friends. And I love that feeling. So it is really, really good to be back with you all today. That song, Love Equals God, we are a part of it all. I mean, that's like in the treatment this morning. Thank you so much for that. It was beautiful. That's really it. You know, that's the whole sermon. That's the whole talk right there. And the question that I posed to you in prior to this, that was promoted was, it says, how often do we take time to contemplate and focus solely on the allness of spirit? How often do we know beyond a doubt that we are never separate from our source, even on our worst day? How often are we willing to see everyone and everything as being a part of that universal whole as well? That is some big time spiritual work right there. Do we truly believe that we are creating a world that works for everyone? The premise is, of course, we are a part of it all. That's it. That's it right there. So one of the things I'm going to do with you this morning is I'm going to share a little story time. And I don't know how many of you may have remembered this book. And I when I looked it up, I was a little stunned to recognize this is the 50th anniversary of this book, and it's called The Missing Piece. And this is the it that I'm going to refer to, this being here with what looks like a mouth and a little eye. And I'm going to share the story. This is a book by Shel Silverstein that came out, as I said, 50 years ago. Blows my mind. It was missing a piece, and it was not happy. So it set off in search of its missing piece. As it rolled along, it sang this song. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Heidi ho, here we go. Here I go, looking for my missing piece. Sometimes it baked in the sun, but then the cool rain would come down. And sometimes it was frozen by the snow, but the sun would come and warm it again. And because it was missing a piece, it could not roll very fast. So it would stop, talk to a worm, or smell a flower, and sometimes it would pass a beetle, and sometimes a beetle would pass it. And when a butterfly landed on it, this was the best time of all. On and on it went over oceans. Oh, I'm looking for my missing piece, over land and over seas. So grease my knees and fleece my bees. I'm looking for my missing piece. Through swamp and jungles, up mountains and down mountains, until one day, lo and behold, I found my missing piece. I found my missing piece. So grease my knees and fleece my bees, and wait a minute, said the piece. Before you go greasing your knees and fleecing your bees, I am not your missing piece. I'm nobody's piece. I am my own piece. And even if I was somebody's missing piece, I don't think I'd be yours. Oh, it said sadly, I'm sorry to have bothered you. And it rolled on. And it found another piece, but this one was too small, and one was too big. One was a little too sharp, and one was a little too square. One time it seemed to have found the perfect piece, but it didn't hold on tightly enough and lost it. Another time it held on too tightly and it broke. So on it rolled, having adventures, falling into holes, bumping into stone walls. And one day it came upon another piece that seemed to be just right. Hi, it said. Hi, said the piece. Are you anybody else's missing piece? Not that I know of. Well, maybe you want to be your own piece. I can be someone's and still be mine. Well, maybe you don't want to be mine. Well, maybe I do. Maybe we won't fit. Well, so they tried it. It fit perfectly. At last, and it rolled away. And because it was now complete, it rolled faster and faster, faster than it had ever rolled before. So fast that it couldn't stop and talk to a worm or smell a flower, and too fast for a butterfly to land on it. But it could sing its happy song. At last it could sing, I found my missing piece. And it began to sing. I found my missing piece. Oh, found my missing piece. Oh, frown. Oh my, now that it was complete, it could not sing at all. Aha, it thought. So that's how it is. So it stopped. It stopped rolling and set the piece down gently and slowly rolled away. And as it rolled, it softly sang, oh, I'm looking for my missing piece. I'm looking for my missing piece. Heidi ho, here I go, looking for my missing piece. So the book, The Missing Piece, Shel Silverstein. I think you get the idea, and it isn't illustrated. It's a very simple, as you heard, but it's a beautiful, simple metaphor for what we seem to think we are missing, and we go looking outside of ourselves for that missing piece, the piece we think that we're missing, right? But the only missing piece, our missing piece, is a fully conscious awareness of the innate wholeness in us. That is the only thing missing. The piece is not missing. We are that wholeness enchilada that I said already right here in this moment as we are today, in this moment. And so that looking outside of ourselves, we know that's a human construct. We know that we get it early on. We are dependent. When we come into this world, we are dependent, absolutely dependent on our caregivers for food and shelter and warmth and touch, human touch, that beautiful thing that we have in our lives that tell us, that through all of our senses, that we are loved, we are worthy, we are adorable, we're all of those things. That's the human part of that. The God part of it, the wholeness part of this is we are always loved and adored and supplied and supported and cared for and protected. It's the human construct outside of us that gives us all of these messages that tell us otherwise. I think at this point in what we are experiencing in the world right now, this is my theory, and I'm hearing others say it, so I feel affirmed. I'm not looking for the outside validation of that missing piece, but what has come to me intuitively over the last many years is that what we are seeing is that initial wound, that core wound, that core rupture that says somehow we are separate. And it's coming to the light to be healed. And those of us in New Thought and metaphysics that have been doing this work for well over 100 years, and those of us in Science of Mind and Unity and all of the metaphysical practices now, we have been holding this. This is what we've been praying for, a oneness, a knowing, a full conscious knowing and embodiment that we are not separate from each other. The ancients and the indigenous have known this and practiced this long before this thing called Christianity or Judaism or anything else. It came right from the beginning. Those mystics and teachers who knew this, who just opened themselves enough to say, oh, I get it. We're one with nature. We're one with each other. And so what we are seeing right now is that, for lack of a better term, that scab being pulled off and the wound being held up into the light for healing. And it's painful. It's absolutely painful. On a personal level, where we're doing our work, where we're doing our own transformation work, which is the only place we can do it. We can't transform the world without transforming ourselves first. It's painful. It's hard. Metaphysics, if we're in it, if we are really doing the thing and doing the work, is not easy work because it's undoing decades, usually, in my case, decades of conditioning and a belief system that got really entrenched about my worthiness and my separation or the appearance of a separation from source. There's a poem by the poet Mary Oliver, if you're familiar with her, and she says, and the poem is called Sometimes, and there's a very famous quote that is pulled out, and you see it on memes, and you see it all these other places. And she says, instructions for living a life. Pay attention. Be astounded. Tell about it. I think a lot of us have been paying attention. I think a lot of us have been astounded in both good and maybe not so good ways. But we see the truth. We see underneath that. We practice this, that underneath that, all of it is God, period. And we see what looks like miracles coming and places of transformation where there is absolute joy. I make it my practice to focus on the joy in life. It's not easy. But we know in this teaching, we get more of what we focus our attention on. And so it is a conscious choice to find the good, to turn entirely away from the condition, as Ernest Holmes says, focus on what I want to see in the world, being the change that I want to see in the world, being the peace, being the love, being the kindness in the world. pay attention. Be astounded. It's easy to be astounded by the stuff that's painful and like, are you kidding me? I mean, there's every day. How is this happening? It is happening because it needs to happen. It's the breaking apart of the systems that have been not working for a world that is for everyone. So on the one hand, I have joy, I have gratitude, and this is really rough. This is really rough. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But I do hold that we are transforming at a very conscious level. We are really transforming human consciousness as a whole because we're doing our work and we're doing it independently, and then we're doing it collectively in community like this. And those voices of ours, and I'm going to call them ours, are becoming louder and less easy to ignore. And we know this. We know this from all of the movements over the century. Human rights, gay rights, Black rights, women's rights, everything. There is going to be pushback. There is going to be pushback. But we are equipped to handle this. We're equipped to be here. We are equipped to tell about it. Because we're living the experience and we're living into the miracle of the experience that says when we keep moving through and we keep trusting that there is only one thing happening at any given time, and that is God, that's what keeps me going. On the days where I really want to get all judgy and whiny and all those things, my practice is that I turn right around and say, no, I know this is a part of it all. We are one with the power. We are one with the wisdom. We are one with the presence of universal love. That's the first song that I sang this morning. And the equation is, what do you want? What do you want to see in the world? What do you want to see in your own life that is then radiated into all of humanity, the collective consciousness? For me, it is love, it is joy, it is seeing true equity and not dismissing people because they behave badly, not dismissing out of hand, but looking beneath that. This is my most challenging practice, and I still do it. If I see everyone and everything as divine, and perhaps they just don't know it yet, or perhaps that wound was so deep and got so entrenched that they're not even aware of that wounding underneath that says you have to dominate, you have to terrorize others, you have to harm others to make you feel better about yourself. When I stay focused on that with compassion and say, wow, I know what I went through. I know my story. So I have some compassion for that. It does not mean that we say you're not accountable. That's not it at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. There must be accountability until there is a light. And that's what I pray for. That's what I treat for. If we are the ones who are holding on to the thought that we are broken, it is us. God is not doing that to us. We know those levels of consciousness. It is not happening to us. It is happening through and as and for us. There is another poem by poet David Whyte, Whyte. And this is an excerpt from his poem called The Sun. This morning on the desk facing up, a poem of Kavanaugh's celebrating a lost love. She was the sun, he said, and now she still lives in the fiber of his arms, her warmth through all the years, folding the old man's hands in hers on a Sunday Dublin morning. Sometimes reading Kavanaugh, I look out at everything growing so wild and faithfully beneath the sky and wonder why we are the only one terrible part of creation privileged to refuse our flowering. When I read that, it was like right here. We are the only part of creation privileged to say, no, I am not going to shine my light. No, I am not going to express the full glory of God that is in me, waiting for me. My purpose on earth, all of our purpose on earth, is to express that. That's in our teaching. It is in us, and it is always seeking to express more through us. And when we refuse it from the beliefs, I'm not enough, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm not smart enough. All of those things that we tell ourselves, that is a privilege. It is a privilege of choice that we got as humans. We have the capacity to discern, to choose. There aren't any that we know of yet, species that have that level of consciousness to say, no, God, not today. I'm just going to continue to live in my little sad, sorry state. When the glory of it, of all of it, is standing there waiting, arms open to say, I'm trying to give you everything you're asking for, but you're refusing it because it doesn't look the way you want it to. That is a big privilege, to be able to say that to the Creator. No thanks, I'm not going to do that today. And I don't say this from a place of shaming at all, because I work on a mindset and a consciousness of a very early message that everything that was of God that didn't agree with the theology was shameful or sinful. I do not believe that anymore. And I am working into that space of becoming more of that God thing that wants to express through me. So how do I do that? It's my daily practice. Show me, God, what you want me to be today, who you want me to be, what you want me to be, where you want me to go, what you want me to say. There is there's so much in the Science of Mind text, let alone all of the other texts that Ernest Holmes wrote later after that about that. Just showing up and saying, how do I do this? What's mine to do today in this moment, knowing that I am not separate from my source. We don't pray, well, let me rephrase that. We don't pray or treat for wholeness. That is, we can hear ourselves say the words, and especially if we're treating for somebody else, and say, I know their wholeness. That's the thing, not for them to become whole, or for ourselves, please God, make me become whole. It's already there. What I pray for, what I treat for is the knowledge, the conscious knowledge and acceptance and embodiment that I am already whole without exception. Even on my worst day, I am still the wholeness of God in expression. Always room for improvement. But even that, I've backed away from, that I need to improve. And instead saying, there are other ways I wish to express more joy, more love, more abundance, deeper relationships, different ways of bringing the gifts that I was given into the world in a bigger way to help as we do as practitioners, as ministers of this teaching, to be the example, to live the Christ consciousness as the Christ consciousness, which is no separation. So when I do whatever it is that I attempt, it's not me, as the master teacher said, it is not me who does the works, it is that within me. Sorry, there's a mosquito right in my face. That perfection of God right there as well. In the middle, how dare you? This is the middle of my talk. But recognizing in the moment, that's God too. That's just part of being human and part of living in the summer with bugs. Period. There it is. Pray to know. Don't pray for wholeness. Pray to know and accept and embody the wholeness that already exists in the God presence within you. Make your relationship with yourself one of full acceptance that nothing can be added to or taken away from the infinite fullness of God's love that you already are. In The Science of Mind, page 463, second paragraph, if you want to find this, Ernest Holmes says, life is one perfect wholeness. The universe is a unit. God is one, and emphasizes in all caps, it is impossible for us to feel separated from the Spirit without feeling lost and in want. I'll say that again. It is impossible for us to feel separated from the Spirit without feeling lost and in want. It is that consciousness. When we feel separate, we are in lack. We are in want. We are feeling lost. This is why Jesus said he could do nothing of himself, but could work only as the currents of divinity ran through his personal mentality. Not his personality, his personal mentality. That subtle something which runs through all things, which we call the thing itself. That energy without which nothing can be energized. That life without which nothing can live. That power without which nothing can move, and the Spirit without which nothing can be. All of it is God. It is only as we live in conscious union with the Spirit and consciously let it work through us that we really live. So hold on to that state of being. Practice that state of being. An intention of a state of being, of knowing this. You and me and we are all whole right here, right now. We are a part of it all. It is done to us as we believe. So our work is to get to that place, the Christ consciousness, where absolutely there's no doubt. That perfect whole life of God is acting in and through and as us. And it's also operating that same way through everyone else. And the only difference is awareness, a conscious awareness of that truth. So when we know that we know that we know, and sometimes without even knowing why, when we absolutely know that we are not separate, that is when we become the bridge. We become a bridge to the world that works for everyone. I'm going to finish up with one more quote from Ernest Holmes, page 265. This is actually a treatment in that section of the Science of Mind text. And I use this, I love this prayer, this treatment, this meditation. I am the Christ, the child of the living God within me. This inner mind of mine is now divine and complete. It has no worries and no fears. It is whole, complete, and satisfied. I look back over all previous experience and find that it was good and very good. I look towards the future and see that it is good and very good. I look at the present and find that it is also good and very good. God is in all, over all, and through all. I am the Christ, the child of the living God within me. I am the spirit of confidence. I am poised in love and reason. I am the perfect law of truth and the complete presence of beauty. I am the Christ, the child of the living God within me. So this is my invitation to you to contemplate that wholeness, the whole enchilada. Contemplate. All the power of the universe is within you. You've heard this before too. Feel it, know it, then act as though it were true. And affirm with me, we are one with the power. We are one with the wisdom. We are one with everything around us, down below and up above. We are one with the presence of universal love. And this, when we know this, really know this and act as if it were true, this is that place, as I said, where we become the bridge to a world that works for everyone. So I'm going to finish up with a song called The Bridge. We are a bridge. We are the bridge to a world that works for everyone. When we relate, we can create a world that works for everyone. Peace might seem impossible to some, but our differences are not too great to overcome. Chasm may seem wide, but we can get to the other side if we agree. We believe in the power of one. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. We must forgive so we can live in a world that works for everyone. If we want to be seen and want to be heard, we gotta listen, listen, listen and learn. Pillars of peace gonna rise, the flags of freedom gonna fly. If we agree, we believe, then the tide's gonna turn. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. We must commit so we all can fit in a world that works for everyone. We are a bridge. We are a bridge to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone.
Thank you, Reverend Kit. All right. We'll see you over on Zoom in just a minute. So, thanks. So, now it's time for our new minister Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. This is the abbreviated version. The full version is on the website. You can get there with CSLMidtown.org. So know this with me. There is only one life. This life is God, and I am one with it. I know my new minister is a revelation of Spirit as principle, fulfilling God's promise, for principle is not bound by precedent, but operates according to law for those who align with it. Together with my community, I see my new minister inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. One that is awakened to inner wisdom, communicates universal truth, and serves as a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy. One that recognizes the inherent wholeness within all beings and offers teachings grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner transformation. One that extends love, compassion, and Spirit's transformative power into the wider community, fostering connections that heal and uplift individuals on their unique journeys. As I accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that expresses Spirit and serves the highest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful, for God is good, and so it is. And now it's time for conscious giving. And if you're being fed by these messages we're bringing to you every single week, and you're not giving already, please consider giving just a little bit, every little bit, for the spiritual food you're getting. So you can do that at cslmidtown.org/donate, or scan the QR code on the screen. It'll take you can do a one-time donation or set up an ongoing donation. And here's our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. I've got a couple of announcements. I'd like to thank Norma Roberts for being our practitioner today. Next Sunday is the first Sunday in August, so that means we're in person at the Garden Hills Community Center. Potluck. So if you're in town, please come, bring a dish to share, and we'll have a great message. Our speaker is Reverend Ann Faith Harris. And her talk is Making Room for the Good. There's a adult study group that meets at 10 a.m. and they're going through This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes, which is an awesome book. You don't have to have read it to join the discussion group, but if you're interested in getting a little bit deeper, join them at 10 a.m. on Zoom. You can get there by going to cslmidtown.org. Scrolling down to the bottom, there's a Zoom link with a passcode that gets you in to the Zoom and have that discussion group, which is the same meeting we're going to join now and to have a talk with Reverend Kit right after this. So if you're online, not already on Zoom, consider joining us there for a discussion with Reverend Kit. So now let's do our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me the spirit of life, everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I'm grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody.